What's up, ladies and gentlemen? It's your boy Bullets Gotti. I just want to say, I want to give my solidation to this man right here, Omar Porte, aka OG Mack, a visionary that brought brothers together on some black liberation, something like what BGF was in Maryland and even in California. You know, what was the oppressive, Latin kings and Nietas, right? Because it was oppression, right? And a lot of people don't understand that it was all about who had the drugs. It was a beef about drugs. It was a beef about dudes not paying dudes debts, and a lot of these dudes that got down with the U was either, was renegade guards, was dudes that was booty bandits, dudes that was fiends, and they hid and disguised themselves under this man's umbrella. Shout out to OG Mack, because he led brothers and brought everybody. There's no man you ever know that did what the OG Mack did. To bring Bronx dudes, Brooklyn dudes, Harlem dudes, Staten Island dudes, right? Queens dudes, Buffalo, Rochester. You name it, he brought all these brothers, Mount Vernon, Yonkers, Long Island. He brought all these brothers together. This one man right here, Omar Porte, brought them all together. And like they say, man, when you got power and you got leadership, dudes will destroy your legacy and destroy what you built. See, OG Mack thing wasn't to go and attack civilians and cut civilians and do the shit that dudes was doing. You know what I'm saying? This man was about knowledge itself, teaching brothers knowledge itself. A lot of people don't understand. Omar was a made man before he even stepped on the scene of blood. A lot of people been regurgitating his history and lying, not telling the truth, making up stories as they go. Like the way these brothers make up stories about this man is ridiculous. Like you will hear dudes telling stories of he got a book from Monster Cody, or he did this and he was like, they don't even know this man was in California on the run. They don't know Omar Porte's story. They don't know his story. Because if people really knew OG Mack's story and they really knew how his connection with blood and his connection with LA, they would know that what they saying is inaccurate. And they've been lying to these LA dudes. And because out of the hatred, out of the jealousy that they had for Omar, you know what I'm saying, and he cannot defend himself, these dudes will slander and put smut on this man's character, right? OG Mack's been incarcerated since, I think, 2001, 2000? Yeah, 2001. Yeah, he's been locked up since 2001, right? He's been incarcerated since 2001, right? He's been in the feds, in the feds since 2003, right? And they wanted him off the streets, you know what I'm saying? Because he had a revolutionary spirit that was about unifying brothers. You know what I'm saying? When you hear brothers talk about Mack and you hear people talk about, what he was doing, a lot of people don't understand. Mack had ties with a lot of people, bro. He was a made man before blood. Let's get this clear. A made man before blood. You know what I mean? A lot of people don't know he was out there in Baltimore getting to it. Him, Ty, R.I.P. Ty, Billy Guy, Free Billy Guy, Los and Lil Gary, and, his big brother Gusto, who was in Orange Juice Jones' video. People just don't know this man's story. They don't know how he was in Inglewood, California, how he was East Miller gangster. They don't know that story because what they keep saying is, oh, he came with a book. But they don't know this man was East Miller gangster. He was really out there in California on the run at the time. You know what I'm saying? But they don't know this man's story. And what they did was, out of jealousy and out of dudes' eagerness to take hold and want power. If you look at the blood movement today, bro, it's a mess. It's a mess. You got dudes disrespecting dudes like they big homies and OGs like nothing. Dudes is doing whatever they want to do. You know, I feel like Nicky Barnes say, you gotta, how you say, disrupt the ship. Cause once it gets out of control and people is doing whatever and they not respecting the boundaries, they not respecting the code of what it was built for, then it just need to be just demolished. You know, and what these dudes did was, these Brooklyn dudes like Shaquille and Corey King was, destroyed everything this man did, everything this man built. They destroyed it. They destroyed it. You know what I'm saying? By manipulating, by slandering him. These dudes was incarcerated with this man, right? They never called this man an informant. You know, never, when this man was in prison. Didn't even step to this man in prison, right? But they waited till he was on the street to throw smut on his name, because out of jealousy of who OG Mack was and his reputation and who he was affiliated with. A lot of people don't understand OG Mack. And it's sort of like the Big Meech situation. When I look at the OG Mack situation, I look at the Big Meech situation, you know, and I look at a lot of brothers that have influence. And when people see your influence is very strong, they'll try to tarnish your legacy. Same with Blue Da Vinci and Cuffy and this dog face character is doing, is the same thing that Shaquille and Corey King did. And they continue to keep doing, right? Because they sort of influence that Mac had. This is a dude that when he came home from jail, you know, he was really living large. You know, shout out to my brother K Bourne. I think me and K Bourne, we gotta do the story. You know, me, K Bourne, and a couple other brothers, we gotta do the story, because what a lot of people has been doing for the last couple years has been lying on this man right here. And he has not been able to defend himself. He's not been able to defend his name. His name has been thrown to the wolves and really have been disrespected. This is a man that created UBN. And then you have people that's not even on his level. The founder. That's like in the mafia, right? People, you know, diminishing Lucky Luciano, the founder of the Five Families. Without Lucky Luciano, there is no mafia. And they put respect on Lucky Luciano's name. You know, him, Carlo Gambino, they put Lucky name is respect in the mafia and just in the crime families. So when it comes to OG Mack, this man was what you call a leader. You know what I'm saying? And he was the boss of bosses. It's the boss of bosses. And they just had a jealousy and a hatred for him that they wanted to tarnish his legacy. You know, they wanted to tarnish his legacy. You know, they didn't like the fact that he had rappers like LL Cool J, Noriega, Puffy, Teddy Riley. He had these connections with these DNY, Rough Riders. You know what I'm saying? Capone, you heard Noriega talk about it. You know what I'm saying? He and Noriega's what DVD. But he had connection with so many dudes in the music industry. Even the whole thing with the Fez magazine, Dawn Diva. Like, he had so much connections, you know, that a lot of people didn't like that. Because they wasn't plugged in with the rappers. They wasn't plugged in with the people in the industry. Mac already was known throughout the industry, throughout the streets, before he was blood. You know, this man was, like I said, he was in Baltimore with Los, Billy Guy, you know, Lil Gary and all them, you know, out there doing this thing, handling, you know what I'm saying, doing this thing out there in B-More. And then when he got on the run, he went to Cali. And when he went to Cali, he was in Inglewood. Got connected with the East Miller gangsters. And he was already on his blood tip. You know what I'm saying? And people don't like the fact that this man was connected with the Bloods in California. You know what I'm saying? They didn't like the fact that they want to tell his story, but none of them found the Bloods. They didn't find this shit. OG Mack did. He's the founder of UBN. They know that. And the jealousy is that Deadeye came out and spoke about these dudes. OG Mack's not able to speak about these dudes, right? Y'all heard the audio with Deadeye. I put it out there. You know what I'm saying? To let the people hear how he feel about dudes basically saying what they saying and destroying something that they built that had nothing to do with what these dudes was trying to do with it. It was about black empowerment. And a lot of time people don't understand, like, Mac was on doing some real empowerment things out here. You know, what he was doing, the whole activism thing, him and Al Sharpton and Khaled Muhammad, like, he was doing a lot of things that dudes wasn't even thinking about doing. And they just didn't want to see a dude like Mac, you know, push what he was pushing. You know what I'm saying? That's why they was doing the thing. When Mac came home in 99 and did spring cleaning, right? When he came home, right? These dudes that was faded in jail came out on the street. These are the dudes that was caught being booty bandits. These are dudes that was caught being dope fiends. These was dudes that was caught doing a whole lot of foul things in the streets, right? They was on the street just doing a lot of wild things. Even a dude that was burning chicks in Albany projects. These is dudes that was under blood, and then they was coming doing things that they should have not been doing. They was force flagging, force jacking. Dudes had got faded, and they was letting it ride because this man was on the street. Soon as he got on the street, he started checking these dudes. You know what I'm saying? And cleaning things up. So Corey King, like I explained to y'all a long time ago, Corey King, who was upset he got cut. Because we ain't finished with this Corey King story. You know, we not finished. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody want to talk about, y'all want to diss Meech. Y'all know, y'all look past a Corey King. Y'all look past a Blue Da Vinci. I don't get that. When you could type up Corey King's name and it's a whole, you know, federal case on this dude. You know what I'm saying? Like online. Like the paperwork is online. You know, Corey L. King. It's up there. You know, like he was in the feds from 99 to 2001. You know what I'm saying? He started working with them in late 98 after he got cut. So this is the same dude that basically, when Mac was sentenced at the time, before he got sentenced, and they was all in the feds, Mac, Pete, and all them, right? This dude was in segregation from Pistol Pete, Mac 11, and all of them, right? Now, this is a dude that's supposed to be a real street dude, right? He says this, and these are the dudes that want to tarnish OG Mack's name, right? Because of the jealousy that this man's position was, that they came with the paperwork trying to expose him, where if people knew the real story of what happened with Mac, You know, well, people got to understand something, right? Back in them days in New York City, the NYPD was so racist and they was brutalizing young black males in the precinct that they would beat a confession out of you, okay? You look at what happened to the Central Park Five. That's the same thing happened to OG Mack, right? They keep talking about this Don Taylor thing. You know, that's what they all keep talking about. Don Taylor. He told on Don Taylor, right? They keep talking about this, right? But they don't talk about what really happened. They don't talk about what really happened and what the police did to OG Mack. They always want to, you know, down and lie on this man because they hate this man. It's jealousy. They hate that this man was able to lead all of a bunch of people together and everybody turned blood because of the respect that they had for Mac. They didn't turn blood because of these two dudes. They didn't turn blood because of Shockwell and Corey King. Y'all dudes is the cancer of blood. Because if you look at what's going on right now, the backbiting, the exposing other blood members and who's a loyalist to y'all don't expose them, but y'all get on platforms, throwing dudes under the bus, you know, getting dudes kicked out the whip. Like, this is what you dudes do. You dudes are pieces of shit. I'm keeping it real, man. I have no respect for dudes, man, because I feel like, damn, why would y'all dudes be real? Y'all supposed to be real dudes, and y'all using manipulative tactics to throw men under the bus. Instead of y'all doing something righteous for the community and telling kids not to join gangs. You know what I'm saying? Not to be blood, not to be nothing. Not to be Crip, not to be nothing. Because it was all a lie. You know, the blood movement was never supposed to hit the streets. It was only supposed to be in the prisons. Y'all dudes that got faded came and brought that to the streets and had them killing cab drivers, slicing people, all of that, right? So when Matt comes home, a real leader, a real Don, I call him a real leader, a real Don. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what OG Mack was, a real leader, a real Don. They don't make dudes like this. When you hear dudes talk about Mac and you hear what type of powerful leader this man was, they had to assassinate this man's character. They had to get him out the way. Because he was going to do big things. So they had to set him up. They had to snitch on him. They had to. Because they knew he was about to get in the music industry. They knew he was doing the activist things. They knew what Mac was doing. And they didn't want to see him flourish. They didn't want to see him flourish. You understand what I'm saying? Because they knew he had ties with the big dogs in the industry. Like I said, we talking about Teddy Riley, Puffy, D&Y. You know what I'm saying? Murder Inc., Nori, K. Slade, all the DJ niggas. You know what I'm saying? You know, I told y'all, Puff, all of them. All of them. Around that time, Mac, just like Preem, had a lot of clout and power out here, bro. They didn't want this man on the street. They didn't like that he had the clout. There's only a few dudes. Like, when you look at the streets, man, it's only a select few dudes that really had, you know, in New York City that really got the clout and the power. A lot of these dudes is not OGs. They fake OGs. Mac is damn sure one of those OGs that got a lot of clout and a lot of respect. You know what I'm saying? You ask the dudes that ran with Mac, how do they feel? You always hear it's the dudes that already had a hidden agenda, already had saltiness, and they bias because of the borough they come from. They bias because they from BK, like Corey King and Shockwell. So you have a biasness that they don't like Mac because, one, he's from uptown. Two, they didn't like that he had the position of a Don. Shaquille is upset that he don't like the fact that, you know, is got a position and he wanted the whole hood. And Mac wasn't going to do that. Shout out to Big Iz. Another dude that they like to violate on the internet. They love to violate Big Iz. Another man that can't defend himself. But they send missiles by having the people that they associate with on YouTube to throw shots at these men that's fighting for their freedom. Big Iz is fighting for his freedom. You know what I'm saying? And you have these dudes that get on there and they hitting them up online and telling them, yo, yeah, throw a shot at Big Iz. Yeah, throw a shot at him. You know, we don't like that nigga. You know what I'm saying? And it's the same thing when it comes to Mac. Y'all don't like Mac because y'all didn't like the clout and the power that Mac had. Because Mac was a Bronx nigga that came and he was able to unify all of the boroughs, upstate, brought them all together. Ain't nobody was doing that in New York State prison. Mac did that. Mac is a leader of men. You know what I'm saying? Nobody talks about the 21 lessons, 31 lessons. Let's get that clear. Nobody talks about 31 lessons. They want to talk about shooting at 31. They don't want to talk about the 31 lessons that Mac was telling brothers to go get a book and read. Mac was on this military mind. He wasn't on the savagery. He was on the military mindset. And he had love and respect for everybody. And they just didn't like that. So that's why he was able to embrace, you know, the brothers and everybody. And he brought brothers together. But they don't like OG Mack because OG Mack was something that they couldn't be. They couldn't be the Don that he is. Because that's what he was, the boss of bosses. You know, I'm going to keep it real. Once Mac went to jail, bro, all this shit should have been disbanded, bro. It's no need to continue something when you allowing dudes that got faded. Like, we can't sit here and act like Shaquille didn't get faded. We can't sit here and act like Corey King didn't get faded. And we letting dudes that got faded in the fold. That should not be. That's why I said, like, the whole blood thing should have just been disbanded. After Mac went to jail, you know, after, you know, Pete and all them got the time that they got, the shit should have been disbanded. You know what I'm saying? Because all it became was a circus and a cesspool show. You know what I'm saying? You got rappers dictating. You got dudes that was in the loop. They got faded. And then they come back, infiltrate back in. Because dudes are so fanned out that they say, oh, that's the founder. That's the founder. That's the founder right there. CK and Shaquille, that's the founder. Yeah, those the founders. Knowing that these men was faded years ago. They shouldn't even be jacking blood. Corey King said he's a civilian, but he had blood parties. I don't understand the logic. You feel me? Bullets Gotti don't understand the logic. And I stand with Mac. You know what I'm saying? My big homies that raised me, they is Mac loyalists. You know, because you know why? Because what dudes did was lied on that man. And they tricked him out of his position. And then they want to tell a story and don't want to tell a true story. They don't want to tell the truth. They don't want to tell the truth. They want to lie. They knew what they was doing. They knew what they was doing. They basically got him out the way. And then after that, they tricked that man out of his freedom. Just like how they doing with Big Meech. You see how they doing with Big Meech? They trying to Cuffy and Blue and Dogface, they trying to trick Big Meech out his freedom. That's what happened to OG Mack. Corey King and the Shockwells tricked OG Mack out his freedom. And now OG Mack is doing his time at ADX. He almost died, bro. He almost died. You know, I'm glad that he's okay. I'm glad that he's good. But because of these two men that put that jacket on him, that snitching jacket, almost cost that brother his life. Almost cost that brother his life in the federal penitentiary. He almost could have died because of a jacket that these dudes put on him, because they feared the influence. They feared the leadership skills of OG Mack. Because like I said, this man not only had the influence of the industry, but he had the influence of your black leaders, your Farrakhan's, your Dr. Ben Chavez, your Al Sharptons, your Khalid Muhammad's. You know what I'm saying? He had the influence and he had the love and respect from these people that they didn't like that. They didn't like the fact that he had all the influence. They didn't like the fact that the rappers and everybody in the industry was affiliated with him and he was getting money out here. They didn't like the fact that he was pushing whips and, you know what I'm saying, and living life. And these dudes didn't like that. They didn't like he was getting to the bag. They didn't like that. So what they did was they did what most dudes do. You see what happened with Tankhead, right? They got Tankhead out the way because he was exposing too much. So they sent Oso Bosley to line him up. And Oso Bosley set him up with that gun. And you see Tankhead is fighting for his freedom. You know what I'm saying? Because you got these two dudes that are setting dudes up and getting them tricked off the streets. So that's why I say, you know, this blood shit is a gift and a curse. You see how they did Pimp? You know? You see how they did the other brother, I forgot his name. The GKB brother, the light-skinned brother. You know what I'm saying? You see how they did him. And many others. Why are they doing this? It's because, bro, it's a jealousy. You know, when you got people, grimy individuals that really don't care about others, and their main objective and their main goal is power. And Shockwell's main objective and goal was to have the power and influence. So when you got a dude that's power hungry, like Quell is, like CK is, they gonna get a dude like OG Mack out the way. They gonna get a dude like Pistol Pete out the way. They gonna get a dude like that out the way because they know that these dudes got too much influence and they not from their borough, they from the Bronx. And you gotta remember something, uptown dudes and Brooklyn dudes have never met. They never mesh. Only a few. Only a few. You know what I'm saying? But you have to remember, these is the dudes that went to war with uptown dudes on Rikers Island. You hear the Brooklyn and Bronx wars. So when you hear dudes like Killer Kev and these dudes speaking about Mac, you hear how they talk about Mac. You know what I'm saying? They try to diminish him, try to call him he was scared and all type of stuff, right? They was saying about this dude, right? But this is a man that led a lot of brothers to a movement. And nobody was doing that. He did what George Jackson did. And none of these dudes did that. He did what George Jackson did. And they just didn't like the fact that the mind of OG Mack and just how smart and intelligent he was, that he was able to do what he did. And like I said, this brother had the influence in the music industry game. Your favorite rappers was chilling with Mac. And they didn't like that. They like, nah, we got to get him out the way. He about to get in this industry. Same thing what happened with King Tut. You saw what happened to him. Shout out to Tut. You know what I'm saying? Tut was getting into the music industry game. What did they do? They set him up and lied on him. You understand what I'm saying? So that's what happened with OG Mack. You know, they fear what they don't understand, hate what they can't conquer. Guess it's just a theory of man. You know what I'm saying? And OG Mack was something that they couldn't conquer. And they hated the fact that he had the influence, that he just had the power that they didn't have. And he didn't have the respect. You know, Corey King, gotta look, this man was living in the witness protection program for a long time in Texas, right? From 2003 to 2009. And then he got back low and came back off the scene, on the scene again in 2011. But he had left New York for years when he came home. And then he came back on the scene, and then these dudes started to jack him. But like I said, they feared OG Mack. And look what they did to UBN. Look what they did. Backbiting, dudes, stabbing dudes in the back. They putting blood information on the internet. They doing things that, you know, Mac had this like a secret society. You know, this wasn't supposed to be going out there. Dudes was in violation. You know what I'm saying? If Mac had it, all these dudes would have got tore up. But because Mac is not at the helm, these dudes doing whatever they want to do. They turning on their own homies. They cutting side deals with the opposition, like the Crips and all that. They doing all type of fugazi things. They backdooring their people. They showing who they loyal to. They don't like the dudes from uptown, so they trying to expose them. They don't like the dudes from Queens. They trying to expose them because there's a biasness of who they feel they want in power. They got them in power. So when it comes to OG Mack, they just wanted him out the way because he had too much influence for these dudes. And they didn't like that. You got to remember, these dudes hid behind blood because they couldn't handle their own against the Latin Kings. And it took somebody like OG Mack and a Dead-Eye McKenzie to say, you know what? Let's start this movement. If it wasn't for those two, there wouldn't be no movement. And I feel like the blood shit is null and void. Without Mac at the helm and the other original homies, there is no blood sex. It ain't no UBN. It's just dudes doing what they do. That's the thing, right? But it was always UBN. They want to change it. They want to do all this. They want to remix it. Whatever they want to do. But they got to respect what Mac, the foundation Mac put out there. They don't respect his foundation. Because it's out of jealousy. You know what I'm saying? It's out of jealousy. But like I said, man, we gonna expose it. The truth is coming out. We not gonna let these dudes slander Omar Porte no more. What these dudes, Shaquille and Corey King has done for years and years and years, they destroyed the foundation of the UBN. They destroyed it. You know, what Corey King did was some Joe Bonanno shit. What Shaquille did was some Vito Genovese shit. And if you get what I'm coming with, Vito Genovese backstabbed Lucky Luciano, who's the boss of all bosses. And OG Mack was the boss of all bosses. He was the Lucky Luciano of UBN. There is no UBN without OG Mack. They don't follow his guidelines and his rules. They destroy what he built. And because they destroyed what he built, it don't need to be no more. You destroy the foundation. What is the reason of holding it down? Well, you got dudes switching sets. You got dudes fading dudes. You got dudes doing whatever they want to do. There is no leadership. Anybody could be a leader. When Mac had it, it was only one leader. It was only one de facto boss, and it was him. And he destroyed what the de facto boss created. Mac was a leader. And his story need to be heard. The truth need to be out. Enough of the lies. We standing with OG Mack. We want his truth out. Y'all been lying to these people about this man. This man has not been able to defend or speak. He's been incarcerated since 2003. This man should be able to speak and tell his story. Y'all don't know Mac's story. Y'all don't know his life. But y'all want to tell his story like y'all know his story. Y'all fear that man because y'all know he know the truth about y'all. It's what it is, man. Salute.